Pat's gone. Nunnie's not here. What to do, what to do, what to do.
Hey, Max. Let's go find our friends.
MopTop!
I would have liked it to go on for a while longer. Perhaps it's our turn to save Christopher. You must be Madeline.
Wait, you're the bearer of my father's drawings?
Yes. Do you know where he is?
I do.
Let's bounce! I just saw the most preposterous imposter. Look at him.
Tigger! Eel! Piglet!
If anyone wants to clap, now is the time to do it.
Welcome back to Movie Club!
What's up, guys? This whole episode, I guess, is a MopTop takeover.
Oh, jeez. They said it would never happen.
This is the first time that I think you and I have been on a show by ourselves.
It is.
I'm pretty amped about this, actually.
I'm interested to see where this goes. Who knows where this goes? It could very well be that we have our first ever MuchObliged TV porno. You never know. Steve, our director, he looks equipped for that kind of gig. So
You should see his glasses today.
yeah, I think this is the first Movie Club directed by Steve, right?
Yeah. Bam!
Right.
Look at that. Hey.
Oh, welcome back. Welcome back.
Steve's here. It's our last day with Maria. We have Brooklyn on sound, which is super dope. And we went ahead and we saw one of my childhood, just like one of my most childhood things ever. Winnie the Pooh, also Christopher Robin's. I don't know if you guys know this, but as a kid, a lot of people used to call me Winnie the Pooh, which I don't know, maybe you can see the resemblance of it, but I have a ton of Winnie the Pooh stuffed animals, actually. Still, yes, I'm a 30-year-old man with Winnie the Pooh stuffed animals. Get off my back.
Go eat some honey.
Go eat some honey. But this movie was,
It was. It gave me a lot of feelings. I was not prepared to have while watching a Disney movie. It's been a while. Disney is could be really good at breaking your heart and then just putting it back together again.
Yeah.
And this movie was of no exception.
Oh man, I totally feel it. And I think one of my favorite things for me was the fact that how good the CGI was. You really felt like you were like those were actual stuffed animals and that they were actually in that world. The CGI was done so well. Yeah,
it's great when movies can combine CGI with puppetry.
Yeah.
Because, it's all right to have CGI as long as you set it up by looking like the actual thing. And it does that really well. They feel like they're actually getting thrown around, like they're actually, on that train with those people. It's, it really made... for me, somebody who didn't have as much of a, upbringing as you did with Winnie the Pooh, it's still made me remember what's so pure and what's so sweet about those characters.
I think that was a big piece of it for me with it, and I think it was perfect timing because a lot of it was I guess our generation who watched it. And going into the movie theater, even you saw a lot of moms going there with their kids, and one of the kids was like, "What is this?" But it's oh, you're gonna learn something. And the whole storyline of the movie really brings you back to, what was your childhood? Who did you think you were going to be? And bring you back to that imaginary land that you were in. And I think, that was the big message that hit home for me with that movie.
Yeah, I think it's, the story is, so crucial and, almost universal to kids just because each member of, the group of 100 Acre Wood, they all have their own distinct, personality, and it really teaches kids about, not being a confident leader, or or being a too confident leader, like Piglet, or just sad or excited. Everyone has their specific thing, and that's something that it's good to have, if you're a kid, to have that many things that you're supposed to be. Okay, it's okay to be this part because it makes up a whole that's even better.
So actually, this is something that I'm thinking about now after you brought that up. Do you think that all of those characters are supposed to be a piece of who Christopher Robin is? And maybe those are all parts of somebody's personality. I think all of us have parts of that in all of us, you know what I mean? And maybe each one of those characters is supposed to represent a piece of somebody's character.
Sure. I think because, and this movie does a really good job of playing out, Christopher Robin he possesses all those traits at one point or another.
Exactly.
He is the excitable, bouncy Tigger, or he is the, brazenly, just overconfident like Piglet with a lot of stuff. Or he's sad for like the first like 20 minutes of the movie. Like he is, it's definitely, we're meant to identify with Christopher Robin because he identifies with his friends.
And so, I think another point that gets brought out through the entire movie, and I had never thought about it when I was younger.
Yeah.
But like, what's the name of the monsters?
What's like? Oh gosh, I'm gonna remember. It's like in like 10 minutes, but no. Like the monsters like within like the universe, within the 100 Acre Wood.
Hufflepuffs?
No, that's. All right. I give up. I'm gonna look it up. But
our producer looking it up. Our producer's looking it up for us. But those characters, I feel like, is in this story become so much clearer to me. Of like that's a lot of like adulthood. Of like becoming this thing of like forgetting about the fun, forgetting about the imagination, forgetting about the magic.
Huffalumps. That was
Huffalumps.
and Woozles. Okay, I was close.
And I think it's really cool to kind of see that because I think as all of us grow up and kind of go through this time, you kind of forget about a lot of the magic of childhood when you're seeing everything through your own eyes for the first time. You know what I mean? And you become very much stuck in this routine and you forget about the magic around you. You know what I mean? Like so many things that happen around us are magical and you just become numb to it because you're so used to it. And you become so like focused on what is real and what isn't. And you kind of forget to like be creative and like, take yourself out of that like adult mindset,
Yeah, and I think what's cool about that is not only did you have the movie from Christopher Robin's perspective, but then it shifts over to his daughter, Madeline.
Yeah, it's almost like the pass-off.
It is absolutely the pass-off, and that's what makes this movie so cool, is that it acknowledges that, as a kid, like these things, this need for imagination and this need for reminding of, that childhood should be cherished, is something that's felt within kids. They're like, because, kids are often pulled in all these different directions. It's hard for them to be, to let them just roam free and just think entirely out of the box.
I'm gonna get deep with you real quick.
Get deep. Let's do it.
Do you think with this movie, and I think when I was growing up, like I could make fun from anything, and you see in this movie, it's like go get dirty. You know what I mean? She's playing with a balloon, like his daughter's playing with a balloon and a racket stick,
that's
and
great.
I would have hours of fun with that now. Do you think kids nowadays have that same message? Do you think that the imagination and all of that's as much there? Or maybe it's in a different form. Maybe it is with the video games and being able to be immersed in that and like VR and certain things like that, AR.
That's tough to say. I mean, I feel like, if anything, like what you just said, like their imagination is able to be applied towards whatever they're absorbing.
Yeah.
And they can create new stories with, those characters which have become myth to them, basically.
Yeah.
And I think that's cool. I think that explains like why fan fiction is so, is so adored, and like that is like such a thing. Or people just making their own fan-made movies based off Star Wars characters or Marvel characters. I don't know. I mean, like I do feel like there are kids who are not being raised in like with all the bombardment of VR and of as many like iPhones as other kids have.
Yeah. I
think there is a pushback to that, and to see that parents are still raising their kids to have imaginations is I think not a completely prevalent thing, but it exists, and so it's in the ether, I think.
Yeah. So I think I think this is a good jumping point to one of the points you wanted to bring up about kind of the controversy behind this movie.
Yes. Yeah. So. Right now, this movie, Christopher Robin, is not being released in China, which is one of the big movie markets.
Huge market.
It's it was what birthed that movie Skyscraper we watched.
Man, what a travesty!
People like studios, especially Disney, is like judging most of their release schedule based upon China's interests and stuff like that, and it's huge. And so for this movie, which has popularity in China. And that's what's so controversial about it, is that the Chinese president, I'm sorry I forget his name, but I also don't want to butcher it, has been compared in appearance to Winnie the Pooh. and this dude is not having it. So yeah, no, seriously, like
global ban just because of this.
Pretty much, because he just can't.
People say I'm like Winnie the Pooh. I'm still on the show, baby. Come on, dude.
Yeah, like he just taking it way too hard. Chinese government is like washing like all images of Winnie the Pooh from the internet. Like not exactly, but it may as well like get to that point.
Yeah.
And no, it's become just like a huge meme over there.
Yeah.
So like if it opened, it would kill.
Oh, it totally kill. I wonder how many pirated copies of that are being sold. You know, there's some way that people are still getting those, that video. There has to be a way.
If we have any viewers in China,
let us know.
Yeah, do whatever you can. Get us in on the deal. Not really.
I think you had a clip you wanted to show as well.
Yeah. Okay. So to set up for this, so the movie is directed by Mark Forster, who's done like a lot of like literary adaptations and what have you.
What other ones has he done?
He did, because James Bond is technically, a novel, he did Quantum of Solace.
Okay.
He did that Will Ferrell movie Stranger Than Fiction.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He did The Kite Runner. He's done a bunch of different stuff. He's done a lot of work. And he's good with having, literary devices and sort of, page to screen type stuff.
Yeah.
But what was amusing to me was that it was co-written. I think it was supposed to be originally directed by this dude Alex Ross Perry. It's based in Brooklyn. He's like a big, like sort of like critic darling, and all of his movies just like they're really good. But every time I watch one of them, I want to stab everybody on screen in the ear.
It's all the feels.
Because it's just like, a lot of them just suck. A lot of them are just mean to each other. And I'm amused by that, like, to a fault.
Yeah.
I was just glad that, like, people are genuine and nice in this movie. Like, roll the clip. It's from Queen of Earth from a few years ago, starring Elizabeth Moss.
You are weak and greedy and selfish. And you are the root of every problem. You are why people betray one another. You are why there is nowhere safe or happy anymore. You are why depression exists.
Yeah, so in case you missed that, that's Elizabeth Moss from Queen of Earth, just suffering from depression and just dressing like her agitator down. And it's just like, God, this is such a great performance, but I just want to die after watching it.
Do you think that's why they pulled him as a director, to kind of pull some of that emotion out?
I don't know. I really do need to verify whether he was actually the director at one point, but he definitely was the guy who, came to them being like, hey, I'm the guy for this movie. I remember hearing that being like, all right, but it sounds like he like you grew up with just a huge, just emotional relationship with Pooh, and you see on his Instagram he's like posing like with the bear and stuff like that.
That's awesome.
So it's funny to see him have like this soft part of his heart just warmed up by really I can't think of a better character for that. It's just such a heartwarming movie, but also heartbreaking at times, and that's probably been my favorite.
I think everybody kind of has that connection to some character, and I think Winnie the Pooh is definitely one of the largest ones, like a connection to a childhood character that kind of brings them back, and will make even the toughest people, kind of seem soft.
Sure. That's an achievement, because you don't want it to feel forced. I think
that's what they did so well with this film, to be honest, is nothing to me at least felt forced. Like, everything felt very organic about how they did it, and they almost picked up at the end where it's like, okay, Christopher Robin is leaving. And I even think the cliche that they had, I'm going to give a couple spoilers in here if you guys don't want to keep watching, just,
Yeah.
But, Christopher Robin goes off to boarding school, which I think is one of the most, leading towards adult type of things that somebody can do. It's like, okay, you have to be away from your parents and all of that.
Yeah.
And you see him, saying bye to everybody, but saying a special goodbye to Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah.
And, kind of setting that up and, leaving us with this, journey that he's about to go on,
Yeah.
And then you kind of see through that as well, him slowly losing touch with his childhood through all of these different pieces, which are the normal piece of somebody's life almost,
Sure. There are parts of you that just can never go away from a young age. And, that that warmness that he experienced, you know, with these friends of his, just, you know, it's still a part of him. And I think Ewan McGregor just he does a really good job with that, you know, and you know he makes a very convincing job of like communicating with this completely inanimate object.
Yeah.
If it, like, you know, that
I mean,
half
the
the
performance is amazing.
It is. It's a great performance.
So I have a question for you, and I probably should have looked into this a little bit more before the show.
That's okay.
But do you think that he was actually in a mental breakdown state? Like when that happened, like I was like, they could keep this actually real and make this like he's actually having some sort of like he's been overworked mental breakdown moment. You know what I mean? Where like part of his childhood comes back. Maybe I'm looking too far into it. Comes back because he's like overworked and needs to be touched back into reality, you know?
I feel as though it's like, you know, they could have gone for like a Calvin and Hobbes type thing.
Yeah.
And, you know, from what I know about Alex Ross Perry, he's a big fan of that. And I think he wanted to like keep that an ambiguous part for a while.
Yeah.
Until the point where Haley Atwell,
to introduce the other characters.
Yeah, and then everyone else starts to, you know, see these things just live before them. Yeah, I mean, I definitely caught that. Like that's like kind of what I think what they were going for.
Yeah.
For at least for like a little bit, just enough to sort of grasp onto and be like, oh, it could mean this.
I love that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
I think everybody has those moments where it's like, and you know, like everybody struggled through certain different things in their lives, whatever. But where you've gone so far in a direction, you become so hyper focused on whatever it is, your career, you know what I mean, your relationship, whatever.
Yeah.
Where you start to forget about, you know, who you are and where you come from, and that fact of like him maybe having a piece of a mental breakdown there and like part of his childhood coming back to remind him of who he was.
Yeah.
Felt very special for me.
Yeah, I feel like that's something that a lot of people, you know, working, you know, busting their home, trying to raise a family, that's something everyone can relate to in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
I don't know what character I would flash back to if I had a mental breakdown. I'm trying to figure it out. I'm worried it would be like a wrestler, or I would hope it would be a Simpson character.
That'd be awesome.
Because that's the thing that I put on.
Bartman!
You know, I don't know much about Bartman. I have the record to do the Bartman.
Yes,
I got that at Amoeba.
That's amazing.
I have yet to listen to it. There's like 3 different versions of Bartman on there. Gotta love The Simpsons. Yeah, like I'm trying to think. Should we go with like through the plot real quick, or do you?
Yeah. Is this part of? Are we gonna go? Is this critical analysis if we do this?
Yeah. Let's switch over to critical analysis because we've done a little bit of that already.
Yeah.
Let's do some more. All right.
Hit him with it.
Hit him with it. Hit him with it. Well, let's see. I think the 2 movies that, you know, because we always mention other movies on here.
Yeah.
The 2 movies that I think came to mind to me first were Hook.
Yes.
And Where the Wild Things Are.
Okay, so with the one Hook though, I haven't seen it, and it kind of made me want to see it because I didn't think that I would want to when it first came out. But what's it called? Finding Neverland.
It's also by the same director.
Really?
Yes, he did Finding Neverland.
So is Finding Neverland kind of like this, or is it very different?
You know, I've only seen like little parts of Finding Neverland, but it is all about that, you know, connecting with either like, you know, a young child or connecting with, you know, the child within yourself. And I think Finding Neverland has bits of both in there, as does this.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it in a long time, but it was really, from what I saw of it, like some of the best work like Johnny Depp had done in a long time, and one of the last good performances he ever put in.
Nice.
I don't know, I'll probably check that out at some point.
Yeah.
But Hook, mostly just, you know, I thought of that, and a lot of people thought of that like just by looking at the trailer.
Yeah.
Which I don't think is a bad thing. I feel like, well, you know, Hook did a lot for our generation of people.
Absolutely.
I think, you know, kids younger than us can use their own. They deserve it. They deserve a little bit of hope.
I definitely feel fine. Where the Wild Things Are.
You've seen that, right?
Yeah, great movie.
It's great, and it gets better each time I watch it.
I need to rewatch it, and I think this movie kind of brought me back to some of those like childhood style films where you kind of like have this like bring back of like that era, and it kind of made me want to revisit Find Where the Wild Things Are.
Yeah.
And I would definitely want to see Finding Neverland now. and all of those.
Yeah, I think, you know, what this made me think of Finding Neverland, of Where the Wild Things Are, was I was looking at each member of 100 Acre Wood.
Yeah.
And thinking to myself, I wonder, I wanted to check to see if there were any of the people like in his office who also voiced the animals. And most cases, no, but like they bore like a lot of like similarities between them. And I like that kind of Wizard of Oz style thing, you know, where you think certain people remind you of, you know, the things from childhood that you love, and like vice, and like sort of it goes back and forth.
Yeah.
And a lot of the people, you know, considering like how many people around us dictate like our dreams and like what we imagine, like for there to be that kind of correlation is a really, really cool storytelling device, I think.
I love it. Yeah. Absolutely.
And then, gosh, there's so much. There's, I mean, I thought that it was also like really bold for it to spend like a long time before you saw Winnie the Pooh again.
Yeah.
You felt that.
You felt that disconnection, which I think was, you know what I mean? It was weird that they did it, but I definitely got that like sense of like, you know, missing him.
Yeah, I'm like, let's get him back. I'm like, because I'm watching this guy's life just like fall apart in front of my eyes.
And then the first time you see him, he is, you know what I mean? And it's kind of like how they transform 100 Acre Woods. 100 Acre Woods becomes foggy, almost like it's being forgotten in a brain. You know what I mean? Like it's like, and there's cobwebs everywhere, almost like it's in the very back depths of Christopher Robin's brain. And you see Winnie the Pooh going into like the portal into the regular world, whatever. And he's like, when am I going to see Christopher Robin's again? You see like him missing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when is that going to happen?
And you get just enough of that. And I think that, although I would have loved to have seen like more of like Rabbit or, you know, a couple of the characters, I felt like we got, you know, good enough screen time with just about everyone.
Another thing that I really liked with that too, with the 100 Acre Woods, not to cut you off.
No, let's get back on that.
Is like, so when you know, Winnie the Pooh's like, I lost all my friends.
Yeah.
And it's like Christopher Robin at that point has kind of forgotten his childhood and his friends, and in that, almost like Winnie the Pooh is like the main part of his personality or whatever.
Yeah.
And then also all of them feel like they've been run off by woozles, and you know all of that. It's almost like his work situation with his boss, and like he's having to deal with that. And they kind of address that again, kind of spoiler alert, with when he conquers his boss at the end of the thing. Oh, I don't know what a woozle is, but you're definitely one. You know what I mean? So kind of having that in there, you know what I mean? Almost reinforces bringing back to the beginning of the film of it being inside of Christopher Robin's head.
Yeah, and it really does drive that home, like by the end of it, where it's just, you know, they're like, hey, you know, the enemy here is people who don't let other people just like chill and like have like days off to be with their family or just, you know, recharge and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And
kind of like me here at MuchObliged Studios. You all are here forever.
And ever and ever. Maybe not, but it's. You know, the 100 Acre Wood gets foggy, and, you know, just...
Then at the end, you see it, like, in this super bright and looking like the most... And he's brought his family there. And I think that's the best it looks.
It's as bright, if not brighter than it looks at the very beginning.
Yeah.
And it was really cute how at the end, like, Christopher Robin had, like, the red sweater... Tied all together.
Yeah.
And, you know, we see that meme all the time, where it's just like what day is it? It's like, and there's like, you know, the smart ass versions of it and stuff like that. But to see it like lived out in front was a really nice, you know, really nice touch.
Absolutely.
You know, it does. I mean, again, sorry, late for a spoiler alert, but that is, you know, a really big part of it.
I think should we go to Pat's Corner?
Yes, Pat's Corner.
Pat's Corner.
Hey, Movie Club fans. Sorry I couldn't be there today to talk about Winnie the Pooh. Or Christopher Robin? Whatever. Whatever that movie's called. It is the most heartwarming and crying-inducing movie I've ever seen. I think I cried the whole time. Like, just full on, just tears. Just from here to everywhere. And now I had to go see my dad in South Carolina for his birthday because I was like, it's too sad. I gotta go hug my dad. So loved it. Really no complaints. I think they should put Ewan McGregor in everything all the time, and he should also have an adorably CGI'd stuffed bear. CGI in this movie was insane. It was so good. They all looked like real and like little stuffed toys. It was great. I have no complaints, which is weird for me. Probably because I couldn't engage any critical analysis in a movie that was like, just hug the bear. But yeah, this movie gets 17 crying tomatoes out of. It's the best. Just it's a good movie. Go see it. Go see it. All right. Bye.
Nonsense review score.
Woo! Oh geez. I think you know, I really like this one a lot. Like, you know, this is definitely one of my favorites that we've seen so far. So I'm gonna give it 12 tummies full of honey.
Yes.
Out of 17 emo blurbs from Eeyore. Original OG emo goth.
Praise. I'm gonna give this 20 bouncy flopsies. Woo, woo, woo. The wonderful thing about MopTops is MopTops are only one. Hey! Great film. I really enjoyed it. Sorry that we don't have Pat or Nunnie here today. They're both dealing with, you know, some other things. But we love you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in to Movie Club. This is going to be the end of our season for this. We're about to do some new programming and all of that and add some new stuff for y'all. We love you guys. Where can they find you?
They can find me at 80s_Tom Hanks. Where can they find you?
I am DJ MopTop on all socials. Obviously, MuchObliged TV for the Instagram for the channel. Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe, hit the bell at the top so you get notifications every single time that we put a video because I know you guys can't wait for the next one. And we love you guys. We're called MuchObliged Studios because we're happy to have you.
We are.